The views and opinions expressed by the participants on this show are not necessarily those of Stewart Information Services Corporation, Stewart Title, or Stewart Insurance. Before you make any investment, you should seek the advice of your investment advisor or attorney.
Whether you're a real estate broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, everything matters when it comes to real estate. This is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Stewart Title's Bill Knapik and guests open the door to what really matters in owning, buying, and selling real estate. And now, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Stewart Insurance. Here to inform, entertain, and inspire, Bill Knapik.
Welcome to the show. It is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I'm your host, Bill Knapik. We appreciate you joining us right here on show number 561. Simply go to stewart.com/radio in case you want to see the show as we make a YouTube video. To stewart.com/radio. You can see this show, all the past shows for several hundred shows. So let's get down to business right now and talk to some amazing real estate professionals. We're going to start off with Kitten Leopold. Her company is Leopold and Strahan. Kitten, welcome to the show.
Hi, Bill. Well, I'm Kitten Leopold. So last time I told you how I got my name, which was Dad's name was Kent, mother's name was Jane. So Kitten Jane was my godmother was from Boston. So she's like, Kitten Jane's going to do this, Kitten Jane's going to do that. Well, I got a new cute story to tell you. So I meet a guy named Michael, and he says, my name means gift from God. And I go, oh, really? You know what kitten means? And he's like, no. And I was like, small domestic animal that sells real estate.
That sells real estate. That's the punchline, right?
Yeah,
Kitten?
that sells real estate.
Well, let's tell people about the company. It's Kitten and Strahan.
Leopold and Strahan.
Leopold and Strahan. See, I was thinking Kitten and Strahan would also be a plan B, right?
Yeah. So Leopold and Strahan. So Strahan was my married name, and Leopold's my maiden name. But Leopold meant brave people, and Strahan meant from coastal communities. So when I named my company, it was brave people from coastal communities. So I have Leopold Strahan Realty Group, and I have Leopold and Strahan Property Management, and I manage about 959 units and spanning over 5 counties. And then I have 12 agents, 12 excellent agents, and we kind of multitask, especially in this new market. So I got the opportunity to do, it's 10,000 small businesses. It was with Goldman & Sachs. It's for minority and women-owned businesses. And so gave me a new perspective. If anyone wants to apply for that, I do recommend it. They say it costs about $100,000 to send an applicant through it.
Well, let's kind of back up. As far as real estate goes, we don't really have the opportunity here to talk about property management. But right there, that could be a show on its own. Give us a word on, you said 900 properties your company is managing?
Mm-hmm. So I specialize.
How does that work?
I specialize in investment properties, which I got into the business in 2006, which was right before, the recession came. So I started doing short sales and foreclosures. Well, over the years, it's evolved. And now what was interesting in my business plan, I projected that small commercial, multifamily, which a lot of people don't realize that over 4 units is considered commercial and multifamily, that they bought at the top of the market. If they bought at the top of the market, it's time to restructure the loan. Interest rates are going up. Insurance has gone up. Insurance and taxes on the people on the island have gone up over 30%. And so you're going to see a lot of the Airbnbs with inflation. They increased the interest rates to slow down inflation, but it's the flow of money. You have to have the flow of money. So wealth is actually created when you do opposite of everybody else, honestly. So don't sell. It's a buyer's market. Go buy.
Well, as far as the handling and managing 900 properties, give us an idea. How does that work and what's involved? Because that seems, just as I'm hearing it, and I think the listeners too, that seems like a massive job, because with 900 units, there's always something that might be going wrong, right? Or there's a lot of calls. So what are some of the mechanics, just briefly?
So it was cute. I was on here 2 years ago, and I kept telling you I was a unicorn finder. Well, a unicorn is if you are a people person and a numbers person and you had a hard work ethic, you need to hire that person. And if they're really good, you maybe want to marry them because it's very rare. But I'm departmentalized. So I have 12 employees, and I have inspectors, assistants, maintenance supervisors. And so basically systems and procedures that everyone does their part. And Brian Buffini's one of my mentors. He says 1 + 1 = 11. Well, and Dale Carnegie, what did he say? I'd rather have 1% of 100 people's effort than 100% of mine. So they just perfect what they do. They go out, I send out my inspectors, we analyze. But what's unique is Strahan, I was married into an insurance family, is I help people all the time try to lower the taxes or lower their insurance. I've gotten a steak dinner just recently. I lowered it from $7,000 to $700 out on the West End. So it's all about is it not what you make, it's what you save, and you make the money on the buy. So if the interest rates go up, everything went on sale, buy.
So as you said, though, systems and procedures, and in property management, that's 24/7. So someone is going to be calling, correct? So interesting. Now let's go to buyers and sellers. Your company and you are helping buyers and sellers with just buying and selling real estate. Give us an idea geographically where you're doing most of your work.
Okay, I specialize mainly in Galveston County, southern Harris County, especially since I know windstorm and flood really well. Investors right now, the 26% of the deals were cash, which really, I know there's two schools of thought. There's some people that want no debt, but really if you leverage and use your cash wisely, even if you borrowed the money, let's say you borrowed the money at 6%, if you divide up, let's say you have $100,000 and you've bought 4 properties, instead of buying one property for $100,000 cash, you have appreciation and cash flow that are growing. And it was sad. I was listening to like the bold predictions, and we're squeezing out the young buyer and the young investor, because they say the average family is starting out at 27 years old and they're not buying till they're 38. Well, if 95% of most Americans' wealth is in their home or the real estate they own, with the two things going on, that's a whole decade of renting. I don't want a rental generation. Well, first of all, who's going to own it and maintain it and manage it? And they call it the silver tsunami. The average age of the seller last year was 63 years old. So if they're not buying till they're 38 and our sellers are retiring, where's the middle? We're squeezing out the middle. And that's who I want to help. That's who I'm dedicated to help, is young people. You can buy. You do have the resources. There's the Southeast Texas grant. You just need to get with the right agent that can guide you.
So you're helping a lot of first-time buyers, it sounds like.
First-time buyers and first-time investors. I've got a young agent that he just started with me. College wasn't for him. And he's already bought his first investment property. I was like, if I had known at 18 and I could have bought my first investment property, I'd be so far ahead. I go, you just have to have courage. It's about courage and confidence.
And as far as Galveston goes, what kind of activities going on in Galveston right now? Because you're there quite a bit, correct?
Yeah. So last year, election years are always like this. I've done it 20 years. Every election year, there's this collective fear. Nobody knows who's going to be in charge. And the reality is, it doesn't really matter who wins the election. I'd rather have a distinctive winner, But they just don't know who's going to be in charge, who's going to be our president, what's our economy. Well, it's so funny when I watch investors, anytime you let fear or greed guide you, you've messed up. If you don't let confidence and competency guide you, then you're on the wrong track. And then we had a really bad thing happen last year as far as real estate. And it's always been this way. The NAR declared that the buyer's agent, which before, FHA and VA, you couldn't pay as a buyer. You couldn't pay a real estate commission. You paid the listing agent, and then he shared his part with the buyer's agent. Well, now there's all this confusion because they've made this change. Well, now they can. So let's say you have a buyer's rep for 3% and the seller's offering 2.5%. Sometimes that's only $500 or $700 that you could put in closing costs. People are just not thinking outside the box. It's always been negotiable, everybody. It's always been negotiable.
We're talking with Kitten Leopold with Leopold and Strahan. Kitten, before we close the segment, what else do you want people to know?
The most important thing you need to know as an agent is you have to have a servant's heart. You're going to make the money. To quit worrying about money. The commission will come. I had a really interesting story. It was a family that they bought a house. He didn't have guaranteed over income. He offered full price, got it. He had 2 special needs sons. The seller heard the story. The listing agent heard the story. The mortgage person heard the story. We all came together. We had to close a gap of $20,000. Between all of us working together, and even the daughter, who was an insurance agent, getting the insurance down from $7,000 to $1,700, we were able to get that family in a home. And that's where I want to encourage. That's the American dream. I want to help young families, young investors. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You have enough. You just got to get with a seasoned agent that is competent enough to help you get and realize the American dream.
There you go. Buy now, right, Kitten?
Mm-hmm.
Let's tell people how they can reach you.
832-641-4261, or you can call my office on the island. It's 409-941-0010. You can talk to Kyle or Evan or Colin, and we're happy to help you. Leopold and Strahan Realty Group, 832-641-4261.
Thanks for being with us, Kitten.
Thank you.
As we continue, let's talk to Gabe Saavedra. He is with Griffin Realty Group. Welcome to the show, Gabe.
Thanks for having me on.
Awesome. Good to see you. First of all, Griffin Realty Group, give us an idea geographically where you're located.
So our office is in Wood Forest. I personally grew up in the Woodlands, so did one of my team members, Joel. Christy also grew up in the Cypress area, but really we service the whole Montgomery County area. Our specialties are really Magnolia, the Woodlands, and Wood Forest. That's really where we like to say. Lake Conroe is not far from our office. It's about 10 minutes, but we always like to say we live there, work there, and play there. And the 3 main areas would be Magnolia, Wood Forest, and the Woodlands.
And right now, it seems like a lot of the suburbs, if not most here in the Houston area, are very popular. Mm-hmm. But when we talk about the area that you're talking about, Montgomery, Woodlands, and that, it's like you're really enjoying a lot of people and a lot of business right now.
Yeah. Well, Wood Forest is actually one of my favorite areas in North Houston. If any of you have been up there, it's nothing but a bunch of what I would qualify as young business owners. And it's really cool to see because as a business owner myself, you get to see all these people that us at the Griffin team, we believe in working hard and then we play even harder. To answer your question, yes, Wood Forest is awesome. Montgomery County is the fastest growing county, I want to say, in Texas. Definitely not in the nation, but in Texas it is.
And for those listening outside of Houston, as a lot of people do on the internet, when we talk about the Woodlands and Wood Forest, we're talking about the northwest of Houston, correct?
Correct.
So, and Montgomery County, Montgomery's a city on its own, but yet it's a county. Sometimes that's confusing a little bit.
It is confusing. That's why I always say you have to have a good agent that can determine where you're at. For example, the Woodlands has a separate village. It's Creekside Village, which I was actually talking to somebody on the phone before I came in here about Creekside, and it's technically Harris County, but it's part of the Woodlands, so it does get really confusing. But yes, Montgomery is its own city. It's a great city, and then there's Montgomery County, which is much larger. It's all encompassing of Conroe, Wood Forest, Magnolia, the Woodlands, just to name off a few.
And you're talking about getting an awesome agent. You mean someone like Gabe Saavedra. That's you.
That is me.
So at this time, Gabe, are you helping more buyers or sellers?
So the way we run our team at the Griffin team is everybody has their own separate thing they do. So I only work with buyers as well as Christy Griffin. Joel does work with our sellers, and Joel and I have partnered up recently to start working with a lot more investors. With Montgomery County being the largest growing county in Texas, we've found that the rental market out there has been outstanding for not only the biggest thing with investments is everybody wants to say that we're going to get into real estate and we're going to cash flow like crazy. And you might be able to in certain areas, maybe in Harris County. It's not impossible in Montgomery. It's just a lot steeper of a battle. But what we're really focusing on is building generational wealth through gaining equity in that home that you don't have to pay for. Does that make sense? So we're having a renter go in there and pretty much pay what your mortgage note is. So that's been great for us. Joel has his whole finance degree. I'm actually going to school to get my MBA right now. But numbers is one of my favorite things. And if I can intertwine it with what I do daily, serving people, I don't even feel like I work.
So you're doing a fair amount with investors, but also sounds like with buyers too that just want to buy a home and
Correct.
So forth.
Yeah.
At this time, when especially if you're focusing on buyers, each case is different, I know. But when you work with, say, a case study in one of the buyers that you're helping with, how many properties do they look at before they finally say, okay, this is the one, or it's the one that's available? So how long does it take to get that home for a buyer?
Great question. I will tell you this. I do a lot of consulting on the front end. There's a reason why we charge what we charge. And the biggest reason for that is to make it as easy as possible. I have, just for example, I met with a client that he and his wife have both bought 7 homes combined, and they just moved in from Waco. They were really stuck on being in a new build. They wanted a specific new build. The only thing was there wasn't really much of that close to their work, and they wanted to be within a certain radius of where they work. And so through consulting with them, we consulted on Friday, which that took about 2.5 to 3 hours. We went to go and look at 6 homes, and they're ready to make an offer. So we believe in doing a lot of the grunt work on the front end to make it so much easier going out and looking.
So, okay, they looked at only 6 homes, and they found the one they wanted?
Matter of fact, 5. Because funny story, I walked into a house, and the lady was sleeping on the couch. Now, I have showing time.
This is for your showing.
Correct. There's showing time, showing smart. It's not old school where you have to go to the other brokerage and get the key, and then it's guesswork. Now it's you confirm a showing via online. They'll send you a confirmation code or like a confirmation receipt, and then you'll go to the house and you'll have an access code, right? So we walk in, and it's the first one, of course, the first one they get to see with me in Houston, and knock on the door, walk in, and the lady is asleep on the couch. We don't have a showing. So really, we saw 5. Yeah, we saw 5.
So did they buy that house or one of the other 5?
No, they're very interested in one of the other 5.
Okay, well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So there you go. As far as real estate, before you even got in the profession, Gabe, what was it about real estate that was the allure where you said, this is something I want to be doing?
In all honesty, initially getting in, it was the capability to make as much money as you want while having as much time as you want. Diving even deeper, Friday especially, but in all of my consultations, I just grow a lot more closer and intimate with what I do because I'm able to change somebody's perspective. Somebody that's bought 7 homes, and at the Griffin team, our whole motto is simply exceeding your expectations and redefining the real estate experience. So the fact that I was able to do that for somebody that had already purchased 7 homes is what draws me so close to it.
And as far as social media, getting people to find you, how do you do that? What platforms do you use? Do you like one more than other, or is one more successful? Or
so I post a lot of content on Facebook. I've just learned that's where a lot more people will interact. I've just recently hit 1,000 followers, which is cool. So that's a milestone. I do want to start posting more on TikTok and Instagram, getting with the wave, but Facebook is really where you can find me.
So Facebook, in fact, I found you this morning on
I saw
Facebook. That. How did you know that I looked at that?
Well, I was on a call on my way over here, but I saw your name come through, and I was like, oh.
Interesting.
That's cool.
So there's so much I don't know about Facebook, like if someone knows you're checking them out. But when I heard you're going to be on the show, I went on Facebook, did a little bit digging around, and you were talking about something. I didn't have the volume on. But you seemed very animated, as you are right now.
Thank you.
So it sounds like this Griffin Group, you're also doing a lot with investors. Are you doing anything with people that are saying, hey, Gabe, I'm not an investor right now, but I might want to be. Tell me about it. Do you do any of that kind of education and get them in the door of investing?
We do. So one of our favorite things to do in any scenario, whether you're selling, you're investing, you're buying, is education. That's the most fun part of it. So Joel and I run a wealth building workshop. It's up in Wood Forest at our office, and it's the 3rd Thursday of every month at 6:30.
That's awesome. So as far as the rest of the year, here we are. Things it's an exciting, dynamic year. How do you think things are going to play out if you were to guess later down the road? Is it strong right now where you're at?
Very. So I'm in very high hopes to get the Rookie of the Year at my brokerage, which will be awesome. And just as a personal token to myself, I want to blow everybody out of the water, which I'm on track to do, which is all thanks to the Lord himself and then my team as well. But I think the year has really picked up. Kind of like Kitten said, the first quarter of the year was a little weird given the interest rates and the uncertainty in who was going to be elected, which is, I'm totally okay with it. And last year was also somewhat of a challenging year with the whole NAR settlement. And I feel like it made the industry really hard to be competitive if you were a part-time agent, which just makes me feel 10 times better because I am a full-time agent. So I think it's looking great. It's looking real good.
Optimistic. Things are great. And give us a word, too, as you plan for this year. I mean, we learn every day if we're paying attention and we have the goals and then strive to do better all the time like you're doing.
Yeah.
Give us a word if you can think of something you learned maybe in the last couple months or even from last year that you're now deploying and putting into action that's inspiring you to try to get this goal of being Rookie of the Year.
Do what you love and talk about what you do while you're doing it.
And be passionate like you, Gabe Saavedra. Correct?
Correct.
All right, Greg, before we close this segment, what else do you want people to know?
Well, if you do have anybody looking to buy, that's my specialty, buy or invest in the Montgomery County area. I live there, work there, play there, Wood Forest, the Woodlands, and Magnolia. Give me a call.
And the phone number is?
832-928-9390. 832-928-9390.
Thank you, Gabe. Let's talk to Claudine Saeed. The company is Fidelity National Home Warranty. Claudine, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Bill.
Well, it's good to see you. And it's also even better because we haven't talked about home warranties on the show for such a long time, and today is the day, right?
Well, now is the time. Everybody needs home warranty more than ever now, especially with all of the changes in our HVAC systems.
Well, let's get into that in a bit, but I didn't think about the HVAC, but it is so important here in Houston, Texas, and other cities because it's life support. We need it, and we need to make sure it's working. But first of all, in the home warranty business right now, let's tell people the process. So when let's say I buy a home, a previously owned home, I can get a home warranty.
Absolutely. We try to educate the buyer through the agent. So we obviously try to partner with realtors first. Sometimes it goes to our escrow officer. So that's why we do partnerships a lot with, or vendor.
Title companies, yeah.
Title companies, agents, just so they know how crucial home warranty is. Because a lot of buyers think that insurance covers HVAC systems, ACs, but unfortunately, home warranties do.
That's where
they don't know that.
Exactly. So a lot of what you're doing is the education of both title companies, realtors, and so forth, because one of the things that comes to mind is that if I'm buying a home, especially if I'm a first-time buyer, there's so many things on our mind. It's like, oh, I didn't even think about having these things have some kind of warranty. So
absolutely. And obviously going into somebody's previous home, not a brand new home, things are bound to break, right? So a lot of people don't know that we cover fridge, all of the appliances pretty much. So if you're bringing a new one, hopefully you have the manufacturer home warranty. If not, we do offer that as well in our plans as an add-on. But it's always good to talk to an agent if they know, because I'm trying to educate realtors now. I've been in the industry for the last 13 years, and I am in home warranty for the last year and a half. And I'm trying to educate our realtors to put home warranties back on contracts, because during COVID, as everyone knows, it was written off, or if they wanted to get it, they would just have the buyer pay for it.
And that's a good point. So at this point in time, Claudine, who's paying for it? I guess it's a negotiable item, but more often than not, is the buyer paying for it, or is it the seller in your world, have you seen?
In today's world, a lot of buyers are trying to put it into the offer. So it's good for the agents to know where to put it, because a lot of newer agents don't know about home warranties because they weren't using them in 2020 up until 2025. I want to say it started coming back into offers 2024, but it is on the contracts. So if you're wanting it to be negotiable, I would always put it into the offers, the buyer's agents, to put it into the offers. And it's under residential services.
So if you're out there thinking about buying a home or in the process, hey, I would, if you're going to, a negotiating tip from us right here, hey, put it in there, have the seller pay for it. That's what I say, Claudine.
Absolutely.
And if they don't, then you pay for it. However, but you need a home warranty because you want to have a little bit of backup in case something goes wrong, because it's not a matter of if, it's
when.
There you go.
It's a matter of when it goes wrong, and it always does. Doesn't matter how old the house is. Even if it's a newer home, after that buyer's warranty goes up, something's going to happen. And with Fidelity, the good thing is we have new construction coverage for till year 5. It's only $770 to have home warranty coverage after the buyer's 1-year coverage is up. A lot of people, again, don't know because they are like, I'm buying a new home. Why do I need a home warranty?
Okay, so let's point that out. So if I'm buying an existing home, I can get a home warranty.
Absolutely.
If I'm buying a brand new construction home, I can get another home warranty as well.
Yep, it will start after year 2, after your builder's home warranty is finished, and you have to have it in the contract. Sometimes the sales agents will pay for it.
And that's real nice because then you have a lot of coverage, right?
Yes.
Okay, you mentioned at the very beginning about HVACs. They are so important.
Oh,
because
crucial.
hey, if my dishwasher doesn't work for a couple days, hey, it's okay.
You can wash my hands.
Exactly.
I do.
Or I'll have my dog do the dishes. In the meantime, though, if the HVAC goes out, the air conditioning specifically goes out, we're in trouble. So
Right.
what's new? You mentioned there's new things in the HVAC world these days, but how does your company cover the air conditioning system?
So it's incredible. We have a $0 limit coverage. So what that means for the buyers is if another company says you have $1,500 towards repairs or replacement, well, ours is $0 limit.
As
There's
in
no
another
limitation.
home warranty company might do that. Wow.
I can't say unlimited, $0 coverage.
$0.
limit.
Okay. But it means you cover a lot.
Yes, sir. And with the new A2L systems coming, you're going to need it. You're going to need coverage.
And what is the A2L system?
It's just a new refrigerant system, just like the R22.
So it's a new liquid that they pump into the thing.
Yes.
Yet another one, because they used to have, what was it called, Freon, and then here was something else, an R whatever, and yet it's changing again.
Everything changes. Everything evolves. And if you don't have the A2L systems, it's going to get hard to get the refrigerant. So we still have the Freon refrigerant, but it's changing its whole unit systems now.
Is the A2L able to be used in existing systems, or we have to get a new air conditioner?
So you don't have to get a new air conditioning because they're still repairing them. But yeah, you're going to have a home warranty if you want coverage.
Just get a home warranty.
Yeah.
Or
And get the
move
best.
somewhere north where you're not dependent on an air conditioner.
You could go back to California if you'd like.
Or that, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you use?
I'm from California.
What city?
What city? Palm Desert.
Palm Desert. That's very nice.
Yeah.
Kind of dry there.
It's dry. It's beautiful. We don't have the humidity.
So not that it's any of our business, but what made you leave California? Such
touchy. No, I'm just
such great weather. I mean, it really is. Would you ever go back there again to California? Not specifically Palm Desert, but maybe another place.
No. To visit, yes, all my family's there, but to live, no, I love it here in the Woodlands. It's very family oriented. I brought up both of my girls here and my fiance's here, so I'm definitely not going back.
Well, the Woodlands is a very nice place for someone to land from anywhere else, and I
Absolutely.
think, as we all know, the Woodlands is growing like crazy.
Yeah.
What are some of the other things in the home warranty world we should know about?
Gosh, to use Claudine Side with Fidelity Home
That's
Warranty. Yes, you need to use somebody that knows the market and has been in the real estate business for over 10 years, that knows how crucial it is to have it, that also used to represent buyers. And I wish that my buyers all got home warranties when I advised them to.
And usually, Claudine, the home warranty goes for, is it a year, or do you have different plans?
Yeah,
And
so
what
we
if I
have a
want
year.
2 years?
We do. So we have a year. We have our Crest plan that's 13 months, and we also have a 2-year plan.
And then I know there used to be different things you could add on. Like, let's say I'm buying a home that doesn't have a pool, well, then I don't worry about a pool. But if I have a pool, do you have
We have
something?
a la carte, and that's what makes it so great is we can add on pool and spa, like you said, for $230. We can also add on pre-season tune-up for the HVAC systems, which is $25. And if you have 2 units, it's going to be $50 for the year. So we have where we can gear to what you're, I don't want to say worried about, but same with the garage tune-up, same with the water heater tune-ups. Fidelity has the best coverage for home warranty. And I'm not saying it because I just work for the company, but I truly believe in it, and they actually do what they say they're going to do.
What about sprinkler systems?
Okay. Sprinkler, we do not
You don't
cover.
cover this, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's some things that
Generacs and sprinkler systems, we don't.
So no generators
No
and no sprinkler systems. Just a side note on generators. A friend of mine said that they saw smoke coming from over the fence at their neighbor's house, and it was a generator that caught on fire.
Yeah, that happens. It's scary.
I'm hearing more about that, and she happened to bring her son brought the fire extinguisher over. They put it out, and a couple days later, as a gesture of thanks, they got her a new fire extinguisher to say thanks for saving our house. It happens.
Oh, the building code upgrades. Thank you, Lev. We have manufacturers. Say your manufacturer goes out warranty. It's only $10 you add on, and we'll cover it. So it doesn't make sense not to do these add-ons. And I would love anybody that needs or has any questions about home warranty to directly call me or follow me on Instagram or Facebook under my name.
And the name is Claudine, S-A-I-D.
Like Claudine said, use Fidelity Home Warranty.
Claudine said use Fidelity. So, in the meantime, Claudine, let's tell people how they can reach you in case they want to do just that.
So you actually get my personal number, guys, 832-377-6684. Again, that's 832-377-6684. Give me a call or follow me on Instagram. It's my full name on either Instagram or Facebook.
That's because Claudine said so, right?
I did.
Phone number again is?
832-377-6684.
Thank you, Claudine.
Thanks, guys.
If you're a real estate professional, then listen closely. Cyber criminals are targeting our industry. They are impersonating real estate professionals, homebuyers, sellers, and title agents. Their goal is to gain access to your inboxes, computers, and clients so they can steal information and funds. Does your business insurance offset these risks? Not sure? Contact Stewart Insurance to determine if your business is properly insured. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827.
Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title would not be possible without our partner, Stewart Insurance. With a focus in real estate and a special focus on real estate brokers, Stewart Insurance creates insurance plans to address the risks facing our industry today. They invest a significant amount of time helping real estate broker owners offset and manage their risks. Here he is, John Bramlett with Stewart Insurance. John, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bill. Always a pleasure to be here.
Once again, the insurance segment is right here. People have been waiting for it, anticipation all the way, and you're here to deliver.
Well, let's think about that theme of anticipation. So we're anticipating summer.
Oh, no, yes.
And with summer, we're thinking about being around the water.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're going to be around the water, we want to be in a boat, whether it be skiing or fishing or riding around.
That'd be nice.
So let's talk a little bit about boat insurance.
Boat insurance. That's I don't know that we've really.
I don't think we have
enhanced it in any way. So yeah, boat
I don't
insurance.
think we have. I don't think we have.
A lot of people have boats all over the city.
There do. I mean, between being able to boat in Clear Lake and Galveston Bay, all the way up to Lake Conroe and Lake Houston, you're right. We do have a lot of boats in the greater Houston area.
Not to mention the people as you go by the Bass Pro and all these stores that are well stocked up. And I think this is really a time where people are getting ready. Some of them are buying their boats, new boats they're maintaining, getting ready to put them in the water. So very timely, John.
Absolutely. So again, with any plan or any type of coverage, it's important to understand what's available, what's out there, what we need to consider when we're doing that. So there's some basic elements to boat insurance that we would see in a lot of different types of coverage. We're going to want to have liability. So if you were to damage somebody else's property or somebody was going to get hurt because of your fault, then the liability coverage would come into play. So we always want to make sure that whatever coverage we have, liability is included. We want to include comprehensive. So if damages or loss were to happen to the vessel due to theft or fire or vandalism or just some sort of natural disaster, that you would have coverage. So that's always important to keep in mind. Collision, if we were to run into something or to someone or to another boat, having that collision coverage for your hull and your sail, your equipment that's on the boat, the motor itself. That's always make sure we want to have that coverage. In some instances, you can get coverage for your trailer as well. So if you're trailering your boat to and from, you want to make sure you've got that coverage. In some cases, like with auto, you can get uninsured driver, you can get uninsured boater. So
I've never heard of uninsured boaters.
So if
there may be someone out there that doesn't have insurance.
Doesn't have insurance coverage, so then you've got some coverage there. You also want to, when available, to get coverage for your personal effects. So let's say your skis were to get stolen from your boat, or your fishing gear, that you could get recovery from that if it was damaged or stolen. And then there's important to understand that there are different types of policies from a very broad perspective that can be available. About 60% of the policies that are written for boats, especially those that are larger, are agreed value policies. And all that means is at the time of issuance of coverage, you agree to what that value of the boat is. So if you were to have a total loss, then that amount would be paid. So you agree up front that the agreed value for the boat, let's say, is $100,000. If there was ever to be a total loss, you would get that $100,000 for your claim. The remaining 40% of the coverage then is what we've talked about in the past, this idea of actual cash value, where the coverage comes into play, whether it be for repair or replacement, but it comes into play after depreciation takes effect. So you can get the cash value coverage, which comes into play after depreciation, or you can get the agreed to value policy, where we agree up front at issuance of the coverage, this is what the payment would be. So it's important to know which one of those you have available and understand that prior to getting coverage. The other thing that's been interesting is we're starting to see an increase in the number of yachts market. So a yacht technically is a boat that's 35 feet or larger. So that's kind of the general rule. So if you've got a boat that's over 35 feet, it could potentially be considered a yacht. So because of that increase, we've also seen some increase in premiums due to a lot of different natural catastrophes. Because if you think about it, if you've got a boat that size, it's probably not trailered. It's probably stored, and maybe it's docked. And if we have a natural disaster or a hurricane, then there's a good chance that the boat was damaged. So we can see that. We're also seeing for folks that have those higher end boats, whether it be a yacht or in your case, Bill, with your super yacht that's over 80 feet.
Right. I'll be going there after the show for some lobster and champagne.
Okay, yes. Well, and we appreciate you inviting us all to be there. Many times the marinas and the lenders are driving that coverage. That if you're gonna park your boat at my marina, I want to make sure that you've got coverage in case there's an issue. Or if I'm going to give you the loan to buy that boat, I want to make sure that you've got coverage so that we're protected. So we're seeing some of that. And I guess then the last thing to keep in mind, if somebody's about to purchase a boat and they're trying to determine what would be driving my premium. The insurance companies are going to look at things like the age of the boat. So am I buying a new boat or am I buying an older boat? Where's the boat going to be located? Is it going to be on Lake Conroe, or is it going to be in the Galveston? In Galveston? What's the size of the boat, and then is it a super speed boat? They'll take that into consideration.
Well, this is a few months ago, there was the Houston Auto and Boat Show. It was a combination show, and I've not been for many years, but I was surprised when in fact, I spent more time in the boating section because I found it fascinating. The prices of boats, I had no idea. $90,000, $50,000. I mean, they're going way up there, and also they're talking. You mentioned used boats. They too are in the stratosphere in terms of pricing. So, you better get some insurance.
Well, and the other thing to keep in mind is you're right. You'll see that those prices that you saw at the boat show, $50,000, $90,000, $100,000. In many cases, that's the base price. That doesn't include all the electronics, or doesn't include the Bimini top, or doesn't include the upgrade on the engine, or doesn't include the nice sound system. So you start adding those kinds of things up, and then it really becomes a significant investment. So it's worth taking a look to see what that coverage is. And as I said, depending upon the size of the boat, in many cases, a marina or the lender themselves are going to require you to have coverage.
Well, and I'll remind people once again, especially as we're talking about boats, we're not the only place that's boat intensive. I was in Providence, Rhode Island. I lived there for 2 years, from the smallest state to the biggest state. But I think about Providence, and it's so much water and so much area that has water and homes. so many boats. And Stewart Insurance, you're serving people all over the United States, just in case people in Providence or in Newport, Rhode Island are listening, or in Marina Del Rey, California. A couple boats over there, too.
Boats over there.
So that could be a whole nother thing for Stewart Insurance, just the marine aspect. I never thought about it like that.
I mean, that's part of the portfolio of personal and family insurance products and services that we offer our clients.
Well, it's nice. It's a good feeling to bring that extra exposure. I'm thinking of every body of water now. The Great Lakes,
Yes.
Orcas Islands in Washington, right there near Vancouver. Crazy. What a
Yeah.
great potential. And it's also great that you're serving those people by just simply a phone call away.
Absolutely. They can reach us at 866-798-2827. That's 866-798-2827. They can learn more about us at Stewart Insurance at Stewart.com or email us at Stewart Insurance.
Well, no boating topic would be complete without including the jet ski. Does that count?
Yes. So we can provide coverage for any different types of watercrafts. That's correct.
Now, to me, if I were to live on a lake, I don't think I'd get a boat, but I would entertain a jet ski where at least 2 people, maybe 3, can get on it, because I think you have more mobility and it might be more of a fun element. I don't know. Have you been on a jet ski lately?
Not lately, but yes, I have been on a jet ski.
They're lots of fun.
They are fun.
And they can be insured by calling
866-798-2827.
Thank you so much, John Bramlett.
Always a pleasure, Bill.
Thank you, John. And now, all the way from the northern reaches, our business development team is doing tremendous work, not just here in Houston, every part of Houston, but all over the United States. But right here, we have Hope Moy joining us once again. Hope, welcome to the show.
Hey, Bill. Good to see you.
Let's tell people about your offices again.
All right. So I am in Magnolia and Conroe. I have 3 escrow officers in my Magnolia office, and we are 3 in Conroe.
Are you in the mood to get some boating insurance?
Oh, man, I wish I had a boat.
Well, step 1, get a boat.
Step 1. I need a boat first, or
Okay.
even a jet ski.
I like the jet ski idea. And then get some insurance from John. Call Stewart Insurance.
Absolutely. Stewart all the way.
It's that simple and done often every day. In the
Yes.
meantime, how are things in your offices?
Everything is going great. I feel like the market is definitely picking up. It's been really busy the last couple of months. So, we're here. If you ever need anything, please give us a call, and we'd love to help you.
And there you are. You brought Gabe on the show today.
Yes, he did fantastic.
He's a fantastic guy.
Yeah.
Hope, let's tell people your phone number.
My phone number is 346-224-1908. Again, it's 346-224-1908. Give me a call.
Thanks for being with us. I have a feeling we'll see you pretty soon.
Yes, you will.
And now, joining us for the very first time, Lisa Burris. Lisa, welcome to the show.
Hi, Bill. Thanks for having me.
Well, first of all, Lisa, you're doing tremendous work, and you're doing tremendous work for Stewart Title in one of the most historic offices for Stewart,
Absolutely.
if not any other company. Let's tell people about your 2 offices.
Actually, 3, Bill. I have
3.
3 offices.
Wow.
3. So I have 3 offices. The first one would be where it all started. That is 222 Kempner. 222 Kempner in Galveston. And then I have Weston at 13680 FM 3005. That's at Pirates Beach in Galveston. And then my Texas City location at 905 North Logan.
3 offices.
3 offices.
How do you do it, Lisa?
With a wonderful escrow team. That's how, with a wonderful escrow team. We have 4 great ladies at our downtown location. We have 1 Weston, and then we have 1 in Texas City.
And that's super. And I want to emphasize, too, because people have heard, especially around Houston, know that Stewart Title started over 130 plus years ago.
Absolutely.
In Galveston.
In Galveston.
And that's the office you work in, and that office was there that many years ago.
It was there that many years ago. What a pleasure it's been to be there and be the business development officer there. Great building, lots of history. If you're there, come get me, and we'll show you around.
We talk about growing. We've had people from Galveston talk about just the cruise business. Have you been on any of those cruises?
I have been on, not lately, but I have been on Royal Caribbean. It's beautiful, beautiful new terminal.
But they say, I forget who it was, but they said there's millions of people every year leaving the docks of Galveston on these various cruises.
They are. We actually have another new cruise, a new port coming in as well. So they're building and building rapidly.
That is awesome. Well, Lisa, let's tell people how they can reach you, Lisa Burris.
409-974-5153. Again, that's 409-974-5153.
Well, thanks for being with. Now, what did you think about your very first radio appearance? Here you are.
I'm a little anxious, but it's good. It's been a great experience.
Thank you so much. Hope to see you soon, Lisa. And now she is back, Kitten Leopold, for a final word. Well, Kitten, here we are, closing the show down. What else do you want people to know?
So I'm located at 2715 Broadway. And what's unique about it was built in 1915. You talked about the history of the original Stewart. Well, I stand with the two white lines out front, but who watches over me is actually Henry Rosenberg's Texas Heroes Monument. She's holding a sword in one hand, and it's entwined with roses, and she has a laurel wreath in others. And she was commissioned on April 22nd of 1900. She watched the Night of Horrors. She watched the 1900 storm come in. She watched 8,000 people die.
And this is in Galveston. We remind people.
I sit on my front porch, and every time I see the market or I feel challenged, she's considered the Statue of Victory, and I want her to encourage me to have a brave heart. A brave heart translates to someone that's courageous and self-sacrificing, and that's what I think we do as realtors.
Indeed, every day on a daily basis. Kitten Leopold. Kitten, let's tell people how they can reach you.
It's 832-641-4261, or my office number in Galveston is 409-941-0010. I'm at 2715 Broadway. It has two white lines, and I'm right by the Texas Heroes Monument.
Helping buyers and sellers and property management. The number again is
832-641-4261 and 409-941-0010.
Thank you, Kitten. Gabe is back. That's right, Gabe Saavedra, Griffin Realty Group. Well, Gabe, okay, you're going Jack Nicholson on us here with the shades.
Well,
that's why I tell people, I tell them, Gabe, I say go to Stewart.com/radio where they could see the show and hear it at the same time. Wait a minute. Let's
check
get
it out. You see that? Stewart.
Okay, everybody, he's got super, like a Jack Nicholson, Tom Cruise sunglasses on, but they're better because they say Stewart.
Right.
And I'm wondering where my pair of glasses are, Hope. Gabe, as we close the show, what else do you want people to know?
So we are the only real estate office up in Woodforest. You can find us by the Woodforest Bank. Our address is 895 Fish Creek Thoroughfare Suite C. Come and check it out. Let's go have a bite to eat in Woodforest.
Gabe, I'm thinking someone right now is saying, I bought a home, I sold a home, but I think I want to be an investor. They can call you, right?
Of course.
Number is?
832-928-9390. It's 832-928-9390.
Your whole personality changed when you put those glasses on.
Well,
Gabe.
Everybody's over here talking about boats and jet
let me borrow them
skis
just for a second.
and cruises. So,
all right, man.
I figured I got the linen suit jacket on, and
okay, Miami Vice, super awesome.
You.
And now she's back. I think I'm feeling the power of the glasses. Claudine Syed. Claudine, did I say that correctly? Saeed. Okay, Claudine.
It's okay, it's going to be changed.
Saeed.
Yes.
Well, I'd ask more about that, but I better not. Claudine, here you are, closing the show down. What else do you want people to know about your company?
I would like you guys to know that I cover the Heights, College Station, North Houston, and you can reach me and contact me at any time. My number is 832-377-6684, or it's claudine.said@fnf.com. If you guys want a brochure or need anything, please, I would love to help you guys out with your home warranty.
The home warranty business. And one thing I meant to ask you, if someone's out there, yes, in the process of buying a home, we can get a home warranty, but what if I already have a home and I'm not going to buy or sell, I'm not going to sell it anytime soon, but I want a home warranty? Can you get a home warranty on an existing home?
Yes, sir. I can do a direct sell to you. You will have to wait 30 days for it to go in effect, but you have to make sure everything is working properly because we are going to ask you. But yes, you can still get coverage. So for all of you that don't have coverage currently on your home now, let's get it before that HVAC goes out.
There you go.
Not wishing it, but make sure you're covered for when it does.
Just call Claudine.
At 832-377-6684.
What do you think of the glasses on me, Claudine?
I'm a little jealous. I didn't get a pair.
I'm going to be working
They're
on
really
it.
cool.
All right, Claudine, thank you so much for being with us. And thank you all for listening to Real Estate Matters with Stuart Title. I am your host, Bill Knapik. That's right. Go to Stewart.com/radio. You could see the show. You could see the fantastic guests. And you can also hear past shows by going to Stewart.com/radio. If you're in the process of a real estate transaction, you say, hey, I want a Stuart Title to be my title company. Go to Stewart.com, find your closest location, and talk to one of our business development people or escrow people at Stewart.com. On behalf of myself, Bill Knapik, and John Bramlett, and all of us at Stuart Title and Stuart Insurance, we appreciate you listening. We'll see you next week. And until then, thanks for listening.